Hello, everybody. This is Sandra Pelly, the Sandini, Inner Dragon Transformation Specialist, uh, Dragon Ally, and the Galactic Shaman. Just feeling into the energy of everything that's unfolding for me this morning, which is just really, really interesting and it's so fascinating. Oh my gosh, I just realized this. Uh, I will talk about this because it definitely comes into play in this day with this guide. This is so fascinating. I just realized this. So before I get sidetracked, I'd like to bring us all into this space and ground us at whatever that looks like, whatever that feels like for each of you. I invite you to really truly just start to take a breath, a natural breath. Take a few more. Feel yourself settling into your breath. Breathe with or as the little you. And incorporate that beautiful inner dragon's breath. Feel the stabilization as you do those breaths, that breathing. Witness what your body feels like. Uh, Lean into the joy that I imagine you may have felt when you connected with your inner child, the little use breath. The gratitude for your inner dragon breath, the power that's there with that one. And also to just really have this deep understanding of who you are in this beautiful space. You are an equal, you are a shining light, you are someone to witness, be heard, be seen, and to share in the wisdom that is being shared from one and all. Again, feeling the grounding energy of that and the expansiveness of that as we invite our mind, body, and soul and all aspects of self to be willing to receive and share. And so it is. Beautiful. So let me bring you up to date with what I was feeling this morning. This is kind of comical. I woke up this morning and it was one of those mornings where I laid there for a bit and I was really unsure if I wanted to just bounce up out of bed. And then I eventually I got up and I went on. I did some riding on my exercise bike, a couple different moments of that, and then I was feeling unwell. And so I went back to bed and I laid there for a bit. And as I laid there, I was like, okay, what is this about? Like truly, what is this about? And it was so interesting because we just did the health guide yesterday, right? So here I am speaking with my body, with that aspect of myself, the health guide, right? And really leaning into what is this about? Is this about allergies? Is this because I've stopped drinking something and maybe I shouldn't stop drinking something? Is this about having more water? What's going on? And then I recognized that I was supposed to do something this afternoon, or actually this evening. And what that would mean would be that with a commitment of 3 hours this evening, I then was making a commitment to roughly 16 to 18 hours on Monday. And that this would be for a $20 an hour price. Let's put it at that, okay? That it was likely for $20 an hour. And it dawned on me that I'm having a lot of resistance to doing this $20 an hour thing, right? And I honestly, I had to reach out to my mentor and friend to walk myself through it, and she threw it out to me in a almost like a comically, but so absolutely correct way. And she said, "Well, if you were doing A, and A is what I was going to do. And then say you were doing, if you instead you were being asked to do one, two, or three, and one, you notice right away that one, two, or three is obviously different because it's a number versus a letter, right? Well, I was like, oh, well, that one, two, three that you said, and she didn't use numbers, she used actual examples that pertain to myself. Okay. However, in that one, two, three, it was like, oh, that's about me. That's about what I love doing. That's about me doing something I'm passionate about. That's about me providing a service in a manner that I enjoy doing as well, right? And A was like, ew. And and then on the flip side of this, I was thinking to myself, you know what? 18 hours plus this 21 hours at 20 bucks an hour, that's money coming in the door, right? And this is what we're doing today. We're talking with the money guy. However, I was physically resisting doing this $20 an hour thing because it was out of alignment with who I am. And yes, I felt that when I started to be sick. I felt that when I got speaking with my mentor and beautiful friend, but it was really driven home for me now when I sat down with you guys and spoke of this, started to speak of this. And so when we're talking about this money guide, it's what are we aligning ourselves with? What's our thoughts around money? What's our mindset around money? And when we think of all those things, what is the bigger goal, right? Like I I was in the shower this morning, um, and thinking of two videos that I wanted to show you. I have not got them prepped. They're unavailable right now unless I took the time to go and find them, but I will speak about them because I think they're two very practical and in my mind were very highly motivational for me. One was Dee Wallace's, Dee Wallace. She has I think it's about a 7-minute video out there that's about money, and she's literally standing on a very a one step higher stage. It's not on a stage in front of a bunch of people. It's just a stage that's she's up on a dais or whatever that's called, and she's like in a classroom in setting, and she literally throws cash on the ground and says, "This is what cash does. It does absolutely nothing." Right? Money does absolutely nothing. There's no energy to money except the money that we give, the energy that we give money is what money does. So that was like a wow moment for me right off the bat. Another one is this beautiful, I believe it's a Japanese gentleman, and his name eludes me at this moment. And ideally, I will include these in the the follow-up email. This Japanese gentleman speaks about arigato. He arigatos his money. He arigatos his money in and he arigatos his money out in both directions. And that to me was extremely powerful because we have been raised to think money coming in is wonderful, money going out is not so wonderful. That it's a bad thing. We want to hang on to our money, right? Well, we're giving money a really weird energy if we're choosing to hang on to our money, right? Currently, I'm writing Money Loves Living with Me because I've changed my mindset over the years around what money is for me. And um, I spend money on things that I value. Like if I'm really super craving a bowl of raspberries and they're $5 a basket, that's something that I will go spend that $5 on. And believe me, that could be high in your area or it could be low. I'm unsure. I know raspberries, you can literally go pick them off your bush in the backyard if you have them, right? It's something that grows quite easily and freely in many places. And then we have that border season where they're accessible from other places. Anyway, um, that bowl of raspberries feeds my soul. Like it feeds my soul. I love that bowl of raspberries. Would I spend $5 on an onion? Unlikely. I may if I was at a farmer's market and there was a purple onion because I would support that person. So you can see where I'm shifting my value on that purple onion, right? It's now got a type of onion. I'm buying it in a specific type of place, and very, very powerful. So also too is this mindset of the things that we've grown into and understood. I'm going to go a little bit deeper into this, but I want to tell you a story which some of you may have heard already. In essence, a number of years ago, I was sitting at the kitchen table with my stepdad, and he basically implied that, and I apologize in advance for my language. He apologized. He in essence said, anybody is an idiot if they don't have $1 million in the bank when they retire. Okay, first of all, that's an impracticality for maybe 90% of humanity. Okay. So immediately, subconsciously and unconsciously, I said, well, I'm going to prove him wrong. I'm going to be poor and I'm going to be happy about being poor. I had no idea that that's what I had set up for myself. So there we have subconscious things that we are doing that until they come out in different ways, either you've had coaching, either you're having conversations with people, or you hear somebody say something. Uh, I until I had a coach tell me that you've got something going on there with money. And I was able to dive deeper into wondering what that was. And then I realized that, oh, I'd set this self up. I was able to start to shift that. And the first way that I started to shift that was to really truly recognize that my husband, he alone has already earned well over 1 million in his career, his lifetime of earning finances. So if I can make that to me, that easy step of moving into that, then I can start to shift into the, okay, well, then if that's already been accomplished, then I'm already past what he says in one hand, right? Having said that, what am I using that money for? Right? What am I using that money for? Like, if you guys could see where I live, I'll be honest, I live in a mobile trailer. There is a purpose to my living in a mobile trailer. In fact, this mobile trailer, even though it's a single wide, my husband and I still feel like it's too big for us. We would do really well in a tiny home or in a travel trailer. Okay. So what are we doing with our money? That's a huge, huge piece of this. Okay. Yes, I would like to travel and things. If I had a $250,000 house, $250,000 house, and I was making payments on that, would I be able to travel the way I do? Right? Like there's all these bits and pieces that come into play. And I'm just using the house as the example. Okay. So I want to dive into this just a bit deeper here because these are some of the things that our little U's are really, really caught up on. And in, we all know that we have come a long way from where we were 8 years ago. Okay. And I'm speaking to each of the individuals who are here and presently and anybody who's watching this. We've come a long way. One of the things that might still be lingering is that we can't afford that. Or if a bill is mentioned, right? It's also to one of the things that I really started to recognize that I dislike the word homework, workbook, workshop. Notice the word in there? Work. Uh, People have often heard, possibly from parents, that you have to work hard for what you get. There's all these phrases, right? My son even said to me one day, you know what, I would really appreciate it, Mom, if when you were speaking with my daughter, um, if you would stop using the word good job. because even good job is implying that you have to do something a specific way. Like the word job, like what societal norms have created even that word to be. And so I now say well done instead, or other things, or hooray, I really enjoyed that. I see you kind of thing, rather than good job, right? So there's a lot of background going on with this. So some of it is needing to be heard. Okay, so let's take actually I want to take this a step further before we go into this a little bit deeper in that direction. Um, so bear with me here a moment. Oh wow. Okay, I'm just leading into this a bit deeper here, so hang on a second. There was something I recently saw, and I'm just kind of attempting to bring it up. Here it is. The too much girl or the too much person, right? So um you may be asked if you want an extra cookie or if you've uh um oh, here's another good example. My granddaughter, I spent the day with her on Monday. It was beautiful. We had such an incredible time. I fully planned to take her shopping and let her buy her own outfit and what she wanted and everything. Like I was so excited to be doing that, right? And so we got out of the vehicle, we were walking across and I'm like, "So would you like to go buy some clothes?" And she's like, "No. I don't need any clothes. I pick all my own clothes and I've got what I need." And 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 I took her word on that because this beautiful young lady, she'll be 9 in July. When I watch when I see the way she's dressed and that, she loves to dress in her own very unique style. And so I could tell that she is, right? She's got her own sense of style. And I've seen her closet. She does have what she needs, right? For playing or for dress up or for whatever. And I really enjoyed that. On the other hand, she really wanted the 10 package of chicken nuggets. She had to have that 10 packet of chicken nuggets from McDonald's. And I was like, okay, are you going to eat 10 chicken nuggets? Because I know with her history right now that she is under eating. There's probably some other stuff going on in her life. Or she has whatever type of metabolism that has her being very slender, okay? So anyway, I I I gave her the 10 nugget. How many do you think she ate? She ate six. There was a six nugget package I could have bought her, right? So I could be sitting here thinking to myself that, man, I just wasted all that money. Like I could have only spent $10 instead of $12. You know, did you hear what I just said? All that money. How much money was that? $2, right? She really thoroughly enjoyed what she did have. She enjoyed going there with me. She enjoyed, having it in the vehicle beside her. She enjoyed like the whole thing. Like later on in the day, I was talking to her dad and she said she's raving about the day she had with you, right? So it's really start to understand that we're looking for the experience that we want in our life, which isn't necessarily about money, right? So then there's the people who, like I have already talked about, is the work hard, you make do, get by. And I used to be very much about that, making do. Like there was a point in my life with my husband and my kids where I made sure that he and the kids were fed and I did not eat because they needed to be fed and there wasn't quite enough food for me to eat as well. So it been there, done that, and really recognizing the mindset of that as well, right? It's so big. It's so big to break these small things, right? Um, there's the people who always say yes to something, like this thing that I had the opportunity to do on Monday. It's something I've said yes to multiple times in the past. In fact, I went and looked for the website so that I could sign up to do this on Monday. And yet, when it came up and closer to the point where I was actually going to go do it, it was like, yuck, no, I don't want to do this. Right. So, paying attention to what's going on in your body. Okay. Um, even in, it was comical because there's another piece to this. When we say yes to something, there are no questions. People are like, right on, good. If I said no to you, you want to know why I'm saying no, right? You want to know if I'm sick or if I got a family problem or what's going on. Why can't you do it now, right? Like there's another thing that we as society are hitting ourselves up against. So being okay, starting with yourself, with saying yes or saying no. So even in my going to say no to this, there was a button I could press that prompted an email that said I no longer am available. I still wanted to go because da, 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 da. Which is goofy. Like seriously, given the entity that I was doing this with, they could care less. They just want a yes or no. So all of these little pieces though are affecting our money story. Okay. So what I what I'm inviting you to do is be conscious of the yes and the no that you are telling yourself over spending money. Okay. And for your own sake, delve into the reasons behind it. That I am saying yes to this for this reason specifically. Oh, ooh, this is interesting. Okay. Thank you, guys. uh, there was a person in my life who was doing something in their life, as usually happens, right? Anyway, uh, they were very non-committal about something. And because they were very non-committal, meaning they were not committed to doing something, they weren't committed to saying yes or no to something, that their life was in complete uproar all the time. When I spoke to this person and said to either commit to doing one or the other and doing it, then you'll be able to move forward in a much better way. So even if you choose A and it's something that you've been fighting against, if you choose to be A, then you choose to be A and be committed to doing that and give yourself a time frame if you have to, right? She chose B and her life has totally changed for the better because of it. Okay. So recognize why you're saying yes or no for your sake. You don't have to explain it to everybody else why yes or no's are important. Okay. Like what I mean by why yes or no's are important, they're not important. What I meant by that is, and I'm even saying that wrong, is there is no need to explain your yeses and no's beyond yourself. That's what I'm attempting to say. Okay. So when you when you say no or yes to something, ask yourself, and especially with this is with regards to money, really lean into why am I saying yes or no? Because when I signed up for this thing, I thought I was saying yes just so that I could have some extra cash come in the door. I didn't realize what it would do to me physically by saying that yes. My health guide stood up real fast this morning. Okay. So I want to go into this a little bit deeper here. um, when you say yes, sometimes you're uh, negating yourself. You're choosing to like I volunteered for all kinds of things at the detriment of my own health. My own health paid the price because I kept volunteering. Okay. And then there's the people who, um, and when I say people who, you may feel as though you are, here's that phrase, working hard for your money. And it's that shifting again and this is coming at a really good time for me. It's that shifting of the mindset of what are you doing? And how do I explain this? I'm going to use myself as the example, obviously. I have a spiritual business, okay? I offer a lot. I do. I offer a lot. I offer many things for free. I have a YouTube channel. I have a TikTok channel, an Instagram channel, a Facebook business page, a free group, free calls. This workshop's free. Play shop. This dragon play shop is free. Meet the guides, and and I also have paid things. And there are days where I feel like I'm doing so much for so little. Except, like I said to you guys kind of throughout this, is this, I love doing this. This is so much fun to get together and speak about this type of stuff that to me, I'm not working hard at this. I'm doing something that comes naturally, it feels natural, and ideally people are getting to know me. Whatever that looks like in the future is what it looks like. I am not doing this for the money grab to make my life easier. I'm doing this to um, understand myself more, to understand these guides more, but also to share that with you so each of you can know your guides more. Uh, I hope that came across like I wanted it to come across. Uh, so when we, I'm aligned with my where I'm going with money, with abundance, right? Like when we did the abundance guide the other day, it wasn't necessarily about money. What was comical about that though is, okay, so the call before this one was the health call. The call before that was the abundance call. The next day after that abundance call, I picked up our income tax. We're getting money back. I went and visited my dad. He gave me a box of chocolates. And I also won the 50-50 at his place. So there's things happening because we're paying attention to these things. Okay. So this money aspect, this money guide that's within you is such a critical part of yourself to start to understand yourself more deeply. So with that in mind, I invite you all to take a breath. We're going to go into a beautiful sacred space. And it's so interesting how I feel right off the bat with this. I feel shaky. I feel jittery. And I'm going to choose to step into the excitement of understanding this with my money guide. So I'm inviting in myself, my little you, my inner dragon. We're on a magic carpet, which actually happens to be some form of money, some paper money, if you want. And we're inviting in the money guide as well, that part of ourselves that is very conscious of the things that we are unconscious of. So as we fly along with our money guide, we're witnessing these beautiful things all around us, material, feeling, emotions, and this beautiful magical journey of life, this adventure of life. Life is like an event and how we want to show up at this event. And this money guide is inviting you into the future. And as you go through the moon cycles into the future, there may be this feeling of tumbling, a vortex kind of energy, and then this beautiful flattening out and settling in. Okay? And as you're settling into the future, there's this acknowledgement of where you've come to. The feeling that is in this is the first, um, I want to use the word acknowledgement again. The word indication comes up. It's more than that, though. It's a sense. So invite this feeling in of where you are in the future. There may be material things around you, or you're aware of material things. This could be books, this could be um, travel things, this could be a home, this could be people. Whatever it is, allow yourself to truly feel the energy of that and witness what your inner child, the little you, and your inner dragon are doing. And for some of you, it's going further than that. It's recognizing, it was so interesting. I got this image of this playing in money, but this money became this beautiful blanket, and that this blanket was being shared. Like it was something that other people could use as well. So whatever wherever you are in the future, you know who you are there and how that ripple is being created from that as well. So witnessing other little yous and inner dragons. And now this money guide has something very specific that they want to show you. So you're actually going to go back through the moon cycles, flying with your inner dragon, flying on this beautiful magic carpet with your money guide, and you're going back through the moon cycles, way back, and an age is going to pop into your head. Grab that number. And while you're there at that age, recognize yourself at that age. You're open, with no expectations, and no limitations. And what is happening around you at that age? Mhm. And what is the message that you are receiving by witnessing yourself here? Thank your little you for bringing you to this space, your money guide for bringing you to this space, your inner dragon, and the magic carpet. Thank all of them. And I invite you to welcome or invite all aspects of that into the future that you have witnessed already, into that beautiful energy, that beautiful feeling of there. Feel how the dynamics of the energy of that age that you witnessed are starting to shift and change, disperse. And when you're ready, come back into this space. For myself, I had a huge holy wow. The age that came up for me was 3. Actually, I'm going to give you a minute. Do you want a minute first to write down your stuff before I interrupt? Okay. I'm going to set the timer for 5 minutes, okay? I think that's important. Okay, may I expand? Wow. So I went back to 3 years of age, and at first I was like, just kind of standing there unsure of what it was. And then I realized it was my parents. And I don't know that they were fighting, but I could feel that they were talking. And then it dawned on me that it was likely over money. And it dawned on me too that my dad actually had two jobs. He worked at a really well-paying job, and then he worked at another job too. And I think probably the other job probably fed his soul a little bit because he was more involved with people and stuff. However, he did it also because he was building a house for us to live in. So he's got his job, the thing that he's passionate about. He's got his other job too. And I got the sense that I have been shown that you need to get a second job to get what you want. To get the things that you enjoy having in your life. I already had this money supposedly earmarked for a bathroom rental because it's something I really want to get done in my bathroom, right? So it's like, holy cow. I have such a deeper understanding of where this has come from. And now I can start to move forward with learning how to break it. And we did that first step, you guys, by having that energy come forward into the future. Like I felt like it was dispersing. Like it was like, it was almost as though I read vampire books and stuff like that. So when the vampire gets hit by the sunlight, it goes into the ethers or whatever, right? And that's what I felt like was happening with this view of my dad and the two jobs and the house building was all these molecules dispersing and him coming into the future. And I almost came to tears of joy in the future of being in that space with him now in the future, right? So, do either of you, does anyone here feel comfortable sharing what they experienced so that you can put it to voice and then we can learn how to start to break the habit and create a new habit from there? Sonia?
I went to age 2 and I saw clearly that I had already learned to suppress my needs, desires, expression of them, um, that I had learned that I was the problem. And I got a clear distinction that these things, even though I've had layers of healing already done, um, they're part of what is impeding me in moving forward successfully and defining what I really want for my vocation or business or whatever. And also with the oscillation I have with money. And that I get to step into it being okay to go after what I want, to define what I want and go after it, whether it's a need or a desire. And I get to, feel good with receiving and not have guilt or shame associated with any of it.
That is extremely, extremely powerful. And I hear myself in you as I recognize that it's that second job piece for myself. I recognized that I have been, and let me just kind of figure out how this wording wants to come up, because I think you'll relate to this, Sonia, and others as well. Uh, that that I can do this, however, I still need this help. And that I could still like this help is that other job or that other, maybe it's coach, whatever, maybe it's that other um book. Like there's so many others that it could be, okay? What I'm getting the sense of for myself in this with what you've said is that I really recognize that I can do it on my own. That yes, I can be something in other places, but I have to be authentically myself in those places. And I want to take this a little bit further with this. Elsa, do you have something you'd like to share? Would you like to share as well? You're okay. Okay, so what I wanted to express here is I love the throat chakra stuff that's coming up with this. Consciously aware of that, very consciously aware of that. This is a big thing that we just did today. Probably of all the 8 guides that we've done, this is the biggest one because this is the one that's having possibly the biggest impact on our lives, right? So now I know this. Now whatever information came through here today, now I know this. I've already taken that first step by having it come into the future energy, and I'm feeling it having dispersed or shifted and changed as I go into the future energy of it. So what do I do today? What do I do on an ongoing basis through this, right? When this comes up, whether it's consciously or subconsciously. It's I alluded to this in the health one recently, in that I recognized that I was doing something and feeling a certain way so that I wouldn't have to attend something, but then I realized that it was actually hampering me and I started to shift and change out of that, right? Well, this is the same thing. It's um you know, I how do I want to word this? Um what wants to come through with this is I'm having a realization even in the moment that I went searching for the job online, I was already having doubts to having doing it. And yet I still plowed through to do it. When we have those niggling doubts, when we have those pushes, prods, cues, clues, the nudges, uh, the moments that are asking us to pay attention, start paying attention. Because in that moment, we can say no then instead of going through what I did today. Like I was a mess this morning. Like seriously, when I went back to bed, I was like, man, I could lay here all day and feel this, or I can get to the bottom of what's going on and really start to understand it. And this call here helped me to figure out the rest of the pieces, as well as a call with my beautiful mentor and friend. Um, Ask questions, ask them of yourself or ask them of somebody else if you're unsure, right? Because it's just when we start to put what's going on, then we can start to actually move out of that circle that we're caught up in. You know, Sonia said it so beautifully, that she really felt that she had gone through so many layers. I mean, that's why we're here. Because we have gone through a lot of layers to get to here to this point. And it's no surprise that the ages that showed up for her and I are 2 and 3. That's how far back this is. We had to go through those other layers to get to that layer. We may even have had to do something in that age already to get into the more deeper piece of it. Okay. So now it's recognizing the habits that we're going, oh, I'm just going to push through this and do it. No, something's going on. There's resistance happening. So pay attention to that resistance. I liken this to when you're given a choice of 2 things and you choose B and you feel sick having chosen that thing. Yet, yet you've been told by other people that your first choice is the one that it is. Just go with it. No, your body is telling you that is not the case. Your body is telling you that this is a flat out no. And if you still choose to do it, there will be consequences. So yes, we are given choices, we make choices, and then we're given very clear signs on whether that was the right choice or not. Okay. That's huge. That's really huge. So we again are breaking societal norms. And I love that my throat is just bugging the heck out of me for this. Truth is coming out today, right? um, we have been trained that our first choice is always right, right? And I think whatever choice that we make, if we pay attention to the reaction that our body is making with that, that's the true answer is the reaction, right? For every action, there's a reaction, right? So if B was the, oh, I feel so sick doing that, if I chose A and it was like, woohoo, right? Like, you know what, like on Monday morning when I went to go to the city to see my granddaughter, it was a day with for just her and I, and when I woke up, there was snow on the ground. And I was like, jeepers, what the heck is going on? Every time I go to do something like this now, I'm getting snow in my face. And believe me, I got snow, like snow like I didn't have on a couple other trips that was still kind of as bad. However, the joy I felt at being able to go and do this and get there safely was immeasurable. There's no ability to put that kind of a level or a frequency or whatever you want on it. It was so magical to be able to go there and do it. And you know what? The thing is um, to hear her dad tell me after the fact too that she's raving about her day, and yet if I sat there as an adult and looked at the day, right? I did it because I miss my granddaughter so much. It's ridiculous how much I miss her. And it's because we lived in the city with not with her, but I had access to her in a way that I no longer have access to her because of where I live, and she's now of school age, right? So things change, right? And so paying attention to those little nudges and really following through on the pieces that feel like yes and really acknowledging the pieces that say no. So what I'm saying with this is break the habit of thinking that your first choice is the right one. Break the habit of pushing through and doing something anyway. That is truly as simple as saying no in the moment we are in a habit, we're habitual. We will wake up at the same time on a daily basis. We'll eat at the same time. We do certain things at a certain time, and yet, um, then we'll go to somebody else's house, and the timing is all entirely different, right? Oh, here's a good one. Meals is a good one. We had the opportunity to be caregivers for my aunt and uncle for a couple months. I think it was like 3 months. And in doing that, my cousin was living there at the same time, and it was just such a pleasure to go there and be a part of the family. And my cousin's the same age as I, so we got to spend a lot of time. He was doing other things, and that's why we were really called in to be of assistance during this. And what we really came to recognize is their meals. Their meals were so different from what our meals were. Okay. And I walk into the grocery store here, and the first thing that I notice is, man, if I want to buy that zucchini, it costs this much. Do I really want that zucchini? Well, man, I sure enjoyed it when I was eating at their place and they had zucchini on the table, right? So it's breaking the habit of thinking that you can't have something. It's breaking the habit of what you're used to. It's like the other day, I said that we had a half a tomato and a half a pepper, like a yellow pepper each for supper. Like that was breaking the habit of other things that we usually eat, which are pasta and rice with chicken or beef or something, right? And it's such a pleasure to start to break the habit to move in the direction that you actually want to go in. And I can use this same conversation at the end of every single one of these guides' days, right? So with that, we come to the end of the money guide one and the 8 day meet my guide. Uh, is there anything that anybody would like to say in closing for themselves?
Just want to thank you for the 8 days. It was surprising in a good way. And I'm very, very grateful.
Thank you. Thank you, Sonia. I know I had some mixed feelings going into this. Yesterday, I thought, man, I was supposed to be bringing in all this new material, and then I'm just realizing how we're still in alignment. So it felt very magical to be able to do this with you guys. Anybody else have anything they'd like to say? There's no pressure.
I want to thank you, thank you, thank you. It was so, yeah, it's great meeting you and the interaction and yeah.
Thank you. I received that.
Mm.
Thank you, ladies.